She literally linked this an anonymous post in her friend's Discord chat, saying, "Is this me?" And her friends say, "Of course not," etc. They then proceed to convince her she needs to break up with me instead of talking to me. I was thinking all week about what we were going to discuss, but we never even got to have the conversation. I'm so confused. How did our 3-year relationship end when I left for a week? The reason she gave for breaking up with me is that I am emotionally unavailable. This is not entirely false. Emotional openness is certainly not one of my strengths, but we had talked about this many times before, and I felt like I was making progress. But who cares? Our relationship of 3 years is gone for a reason that doesn't seem to make sense. We planned our engagement, getting married. We talked about where we could live together and both go to grad school, finances, etc. I am going to tear myself apart thinking about what could have happened the week I was gone to cause all this. I want desperately to understand and for her to be honest, but I know I can't force it. I agree with her that our emotional relationship was far from perfect, but why wouldn't she want to talk about it before making such an impetuous decision? If she had moved across the world, then I would be able to move on, but so much of our lives were intertwined. I will see her every week at church, and our friend groups are the same, so I will see her constantly. I just want to have some closure and understanding, but she doesn't even want to talk to me. Sorry for the rant, I don't know what to do. What do you guys suggest? Update. I am very well aware this is going to sound unbelievable. A few weeks ago, my ex-girlfriend texted my parents, explaining how a close friend of hers died in a climbing accident. My parents asked for this person's name to see if they knew him, and it quickly became clear that it was the guy she cheated on me with who died. She said she wanted some prayer and didn't know who to talk to. Obviously, it's really weird for my ex-girlfriend to be contacting my parents. My dad's first reaction was questioning if what she was saying was even true. Shortly after, an article popped up confirming what she said was true. A few days later, she reached out to me and asked if we could talk. I agreed. We ended up having a phone call for about 2.5 hours, and I think overall it was quite fruitful and cathartic. However, I held back a lot of what I wanted to say because of the fact that she was in grief over what is an objective tragedy. Obviously, I am hurt beyond words she would go behind my back in such a manner, and I really wanted to tell her honestly how this betrayal had impacted me, but I didn't because I felt like it would be too much given the already heavy nature of our conversation. She gave me a really sincere apology for the date she went on, and it meant a lot to me that she did. She also told me that they were continuing to see each other. I found this heartbreaking and confusing, and what I neglected to say, however, is that it seems her continuing to see him after we broke up undermines her apology. Is this interpretation accurate? How could she be so deeply sorry that she cheated on me, yet continue to see this guy afterward? Today was our anniversary. I have not known such a deep and profound betrayal from a person I loved so much. I hope I can learn to love again one day. It's time to move on from her. Relevant comments. Comment 1. You are a better person than I. It's a tragedy, no doubt, but the most polite I could be would say I'm sorry, but I'm not the right person to grieve about this too. It's sad a life was lost, but she did a horrible thing to you too. You can't be expected to carry her heartache. You are definitely a bigger person to be able to sit through that conversation. Comment 2. You did help her. Perhaps not in the way she asked or hoped. But you gave her the information to help herself and you weren't cruel about it. I think that was mature and the decent thing to do, while also protecting yourself emotionally. Comment 3. When I was younger I had an ex cheat on me with a coworker. We ended pretty amicable though. I'm the type of person who doesn't let these things bother them and carried on with my life as normal. She got into a relationship with this guy and moved into his place. He then began to physically and emotionally harm her. She messaged me asking if she could stay at mine because she had nowhere to go. Bad relationship with parents. I told her to ring the police and gave her the address for a woman's refuge in our area. My parents and friends all said I was heartless and she was still a human. I still don't feel bad. She was a compulsive liar. This is one of the reasons she had strained relationships with her friends and family. I wouldn't give her $500 once when she blew through her wages 1 month and she told everyone I was financially abusing her. I really wouldn't be surprised if the real story was the guy had had enough and just kicked her out and she made up the story about being abused to get sympathy. I'll never know the true story. I blocked her after all this. I now live in a different country and have no idea what she's doing with her life. I honestly hope she sorted out all her demons, got some help and is living her best life.